Alright, welcome back. Scene 3. Try not to have that blown out so much of the light. Okay. Read the following to the players. You make your way through the trees. A bit close so you can follow along. You make your way through the trees, and after a short while, you notice that the floor of the forest is beginning a gradual descent. Through the trees ahead, you catch a few tantalizing glimpses of the river Unoram. This major watercourse is one of the three great rivers of Summerland. The other two being the Tor and the Elidil. It is almost a mile across to the point where you are now. The Unoram tumbles down from the central Crag Mountains and joins with the Elidil within the walls of Holmgard before flowing out into the seas of Holmgulf. A great span of the Elima Bridge was constructed many centuries ago to provide a way across the river. From your present vantage point, you can see its impressive stone towers, its wide approach ramp, and its granite gateway that is washed by the waning light of the evening sun. So that's a very good description and good immersion right there. You can only strive for that immersion when you're solo role-playing. Let's see here. In the shadow of the towers, there is an area of level ground paved with ancient slabs of granite worn smooth by the passage of centuries. This paved area is known as the Elima Mitri, and it is used as a meeting place and campsite for merchants. Their wagons are bivouacked on the Elima Mitri, and their lanterns are steadily growing. I don't know if you can see that there. Brighter as the sun slowly sets below the treetops. Men and women pass among the wagons, and the horses busily prepare their camp for the onset of night. So down here it talks about heroic behavior. A little side note here to DMs or new DMs. Scene presents the players with a choice. Help the doe or press on, complete their mission. This was the previous one. And you should reward or punish their actions and their intentions. You know, that kind of stuff. Anyway, moving on here. Oh, don't look at that yet. Let's see here. You should now ask the players what they want to do. Okay, so I'll ask myself, what do I want to do? So I'll go over this here. Kind of reread this a little bit. Tumbles down from the Crag Mountains, joins Elidil Bridge. Leveled ground. Alright, their wagons are bivouacked, used as a meeting place. Their lanterns steadily growing brighter as the sun. Okay. So, maybe we could go get some information. Night Fox says that to, not Storm Shadow, but Storm Sparrow. And this is where you could have a little bit of drama, you know, for the other character. 1 to 3, she says no. 4 to 6, she says yes. No, she wants to press on. And because she feels that this is kind of an emergency, but Night Fox, he feels like we need to know more information about what we're getting into. That way we can make better decisions and have more of an advantage. You know, because he travels at night, he hunts sometimes at night, and sometimes having an advantage of knowing where things are and what their behaviors are makes a difference when you're on the hunt. And so he's going to go. He's going to go. Now, I could use that as like a little story element for later adventures, and it kind of shapes her personality a little bit more, as well as his. So there we go. Okay, so if the players question Kai Femsk Riverblade before leaving the Kai Monastery, then they will already know the further information can be found here at the Elementary. Yeah, as this is the most significant trading place that lies between the Kai Monastery and Holmgard. If not, then you should pass a detail to the players and suggest this would be a very good place for them to begin their investigation. You start seeking out someone in authority. It talks a little bit more about it. So let me show you where this is on the map, since it's close to Holmgard. I've seen this place before, I believe. Let's see, Holmgard. There it is. Real small. It's kind of like Where's Waldo. So from here is your main base, the monastery. Actually, I think the monastery is around here, but whatever. So, yeah, we're here, Elementary. You can see that. Alright, and then, oh, the Kai Monastery is up there, sorry. So we're going southeast. We're going probably diagonal right to it. And there's the bridge right there. Let me see that. Let me bring it right in there. Bridge. Okay. So, onwards. Approaching the Elementary. The Elementary is an area adjacent to the northern approach ramp of the Element Bridge. It is used by traders, river traffic, including merchants, who alerted the authorities that one of the caravans never made it back from Holmgard. As the players approach, they will encounter a couple of guards on the edge of the camp. They are warming their hands above an iron brazier full of glowing coals. They will recognize at once the green cloaks and the Kai Lords are wearing. And if the players ask them who to speak to, the guards will freely volunteer the name of the... Okay. So as they approach, they will encounter a couple of guards. So we approach, we encounter a couple of guards. They're warming their hands on an iron brazier full of glowing coals. They'll, a good sensory detail there. They will recognize at once the green cloaks. And they approach, and it is... and Night Fox there says, "Hello, I am Night Fox, and she is Storm Sparrow. We are investigating the caravan." And says, "Yes, I am Haldred, the merchant quartermaster here." One of the guards is happy to escort them to Haldred. If not, then they can seek out Haldred by themselves. Although this will take them a bit longer to achieve than it will accept. I'm not supposed to know that. But anyway, meeting Haldred. Sorry, I jumped the gun. Cut that. Anyway, that's a deleted scene. Meeting Haldred. As the players approach the merchant quartermaster's wagon, read to them the following text. Oh, okay, here we go. I read this to you. Sorry, it's a lot of reading in this. You know. Let's see here. Hopefully you're enjoying it. The wagon of Haldred, the merchant quartermaster, is an impressive semi-permanent structure. The wagon's tent has been erected along the open side of the vehicle and has lots of space inside. Its flap is drawn aside. and tied back with silken rope. As you walk inside, accompanied by a guard, you see a lean, bearded man sitting in a high-backed wooden chair behind a desk of a yellow oak. He is shifting through the papers and anointing them with a quill pen. Ledgers and other trading paraphernalia cover the table surface. When you enter, he looks up from his work, and immediately he recognizes your distinctive Kai cloaks. He stands up and gives you a courteous welcome. And you look something like that, which I'm sure you already saw, but there we go. And again, pictures always kind of give you a good immersion too. So if you could sketch or have a picture or have like a photo of somebody that the character looks like, you can use that as well. You know, that's always good. Let's see. Kai Lords, welcome, welcome. I am Haldred the Quartermaster. Thank you for answering my call for help. Alright. Now when you solo quest, you don't have to do a silly voice. Alright, totally optional. Right. The following scene allows the players to interact with Haldred, the Merchant Quartermaster. Much like the previous interaction with Riverblade, the Kai Monastery, it's pretty self-explanatory. So questions. This is where the questions. So they introduce themselves like I did previously on accident there. Yes, I am Night Owl from the Kai Monastery, and this is Storm Sparrow. We're investigating the caravan that unfortunately was wrecked. And do you know any other information about what happened? Like, was there any blood? Was there any... What was taken? And Storm Sparrow, she chimes in, yes. And what is the best direction to get to the caravan? Alright. So the answers are, how many merchants and wagons were there lost? I didn't really ask that, so move on. What was their cargo? Was the caravan guarded? Is there anything else you can tell us? Okay. So I'll say, what was their cargo? That was the closest to what I asked, I believe. It is mainly a consignment of animal furs, including some rare and valuable black Corval pelts. Also, there are some haunches of salted and cured meat. Alright. Was there any blood or anything like that? So we know it's taken. Was there signs of a struggle, pretty much? So that would kind of go right here. Was the caravan guarded? Okay. Yes, the merchants were all lightly armed, and they are accompanied by an escort made of 4 bodyguards. But the route from Homeguard is a relatively safe one. I didn't consider it necessary to increase the provision of bodyguards. 1 bodyguard per merchant would normally be enough for such a routine journey. There is always the risk of encountering outlaws or highwaymen on the King's Highway, but as I say, the route from Homeguard is usually a safe one to go by. Alright, and then Storm Sparrow asked, what's the best route? You know, it doesn't really have that on here. So that would probably fall under here. Okay. So it says, as long as the players are discussing the mission and their conversation is vibrant, do not feel the need to interfere with their discourse. You should aim to respond to their questions with helpful answers, just as Haldred would do. Tell them that the route from here to Homeguard is a relatively easy one. So that's basically it. That's the answer there. traveled by the merchants of the Alamitri. It follows King's Highway for most of the way. This is a well-maintained stretch of road. If all is well, they could be expected to make the journey to Homegard within a day of leaving the Mitri. When their conversation reaches a natural end, move on to the next section. 9. So, I'll roll, since they didn't really ask if there's anything else you can tell us. I could say, well, since you're looking for the best route, maybe there's a chance that they would say this. I'll do 50-50. Under 50, they don't ask. Over 50, they do. And they do. Since that is a 99. They absolutely ask. So that's a good, doing percentages when it's like, sometimes like, would they would have asked that? If I only asked 2 questions and one isn't on the list, maybe it would default to this. But I rolled 99, that's a way to resolve it, using the good old percentile. Or I could do this, which is more in line with the theme of the RPG, so I should always kind of go back to this as well. Let's see. One of the 2 wagons of the caravan had a damaged wheel. Well, we kind of asked that. And see, but Travis assured me that it was sound enough to reach Homegard. He intended to purchase a replacement when he arrived at the capital. If the wheel failed during the journey, it would not be difficult for Travis to send one of the bodyguards ahead to find a wheelwright in the villages along the route. He could either purchase a replacement wheel or have the wheelwright accompany him back to the caravan and carry out the repair there. So that's pretty good. We didn't ask how overdue are they. We didn't ask how many merchants and wagons are there. So I'm going to skip those parts. And we'll move on to, try not to look at those other pages. And this would be a good time to write down some of the notes from that. I think when I get off this video, I'm going to write down some notes. And also, playing Huldred the Quartermaster. Huldred is a world-weary man in his late 40s. He is wealthy and has lots of experience as a commercial trading in Summerland. Savvy and quick-witted, he is friendly to the Kai Lords, and he is greatly appreciative of the fact that they may provide invaluable help in investigating the whereabouts of the last caravan. He's well dressed. He benefits from status. He has a habit of stroking his beard. Is a good role-playing tips. Don't really need that as a solo player. It's just more good immersion. When he talks, when he speaks, particularly when he's thinking about something complex, is contemplating an important decision that needs to be made. So good role-playing notes. But late 40s, and he looks like this. I'm in my late 40s. But you got to think about it. Middle Ages, kind of. Late 40s was probably ancient. That was like their 70 or 80. No disrespect to anyone that's 70 or 80 possibly watching this video. Or in general. But, you know what I mean. A Thief in the Night. Okay. I'm trying to skip that because some spoilers. Read the following to the players. From the outside the confines of Haldred's tent, you hear shouts of consternation. "Unhand me, you villain! Stop! Thief! Stop! Help me!" Rushing out of the tent, you see about 30 feet distant 2 men struggling. One appears to be a merchant, and he is down on his knees. The other is a younger man who is standing over the kneeling man. They are clinging to a purse, too close to purpose, to a purse most likely containing coins, and the younger man is trying desperately to wrest it from the merchant's grasp. With a sudden twist of his torso, the younger man tears the purse free from the older man's hands and turns to run. "No!" cries the merchant plaintively as the younger man makes off with his purse. What do you do? So that's a good place to kind of stop for now. Take a breather. And I'm going to write down some notes from the stuff that we investigated. And try and, not to look at any other parts of that, the questions we didn't ask. And yeah, I'll go from there. I'll see you back here. Keep on solo quest, and we'll continue with part 3 here. Lone Wolf, the Lost Caravan.